Alright, so what we got here, 1983 or 2 Honda CB250Rs. All I've done, which you haven't seen, is I gave it a quick wipe down, which you can see that the engine's, the paint and stuff is still there, hasn't all peeled off. So that actually looks really good. So it could actually look quite good if it's all cleaned up properly. Most of the paint's still intact. Just basically a bit of dirt and stuff on there. Yeah, it's a bit grubby around the spots. A bit of worrying rust up here. Not sure how bad that is. But all I want to do is just get it to fire up. Now I know it sparks, but I've got to get this carburetor out. It's a big old carb there. Well, bigger than the C90 one anyway. Made in Japan. Need to get that out. Because I reckon the interior is not great. So if I look in the petrol tank, I gave this little clean up around the petrol cap area. Now the petrol tank itself, can you see in there? It looks pretty alright, it's not terrible in there, there's no rust or anything like that really. But the cap is like that. And I reckon that's what the inside of the carburetor looks like. So I'm guessing I'm going to need to take that carb apart and give it a good old clean before I continue with anything else. So apart from the carb needs a look at, it does spark. The electric start doesn't work because the wires have been cut. The clutch cable doesn't need lubing either, which is, after all this time, I will relube it, but it seems to be mostly operational. The previous Humanio has painted these black, so these are going to come off. These are not going back on the bike. I will get some chrome ones for it, or something else, because these have had it. I mean, look where the paint is. So yeah, it's just horrible really. So these are going to come off. Don't like that. That rubber's deteriorating, so this glass will just fall out. Oh yeah, 37,000 miles genuine. Oh, and I definitely need a new brake reservoir, master cylinder. The chances of that coming off, that reservoir lid coming off, without, I mean look, it's already rounded off. This is before I even started working on it. They're rusted as well. I reckon I should just undo these 2 bolts and just take this entire section away and just get a whole new one of these. But before I do any of that and invest money to it, I want to start the engine up to make sure it works. Oh yeah, also there's no front brake on here. The front brake's been taken off. I took it off because it was seized, so I used a hammer to take it off. But look at that disc. Look at that disc. That is a retro. That is a Gen 1 disc. Just a solid disc of metal. No holes to cool down or anything. Yeah, that's cool. Right. Last on the road in 31st of the 10th, 14. So 6 years ago this thing was running. Yeah, it did actually run 6 years ago, but it has been sat in the back of my garage ever since. And the reason for me going to this bike instead of another cub is I feel like it's time to get this one running. It's a couple of years away from being 40, and it's not the exact same bike, but it is the same model and same sort of year that my dad had when he was a biker. So this was it. Gotta be careful because I've got no rear thing, but it is quite a, like, it's a more lent forward position, and yeah, you can sit upright, but it is a more sporty position. 26 brake horsepower, so it's probably got about 20 after all this time. Right then, seat needs to come off, petrol tank needs to come off, so I can get to the carburetor. Hey, that's amazing. On this side of the panel still is the original toolkit. It looks like this panel was originally blue. So we've got a blue panel on a black bike. Telltale signs of a crash, maybe. Yeah, this is the same. It's a blue panel. Huh, it's a blue panel on a black bike. It looks like it's got some cracks in it and someone's repaired the cracks. Yeah, blue. So originally that was blue. I know they did them in two different colours. My dad had a blue one. Mix match bolt size. Alright. An erroneous bolt. Okay, so free. So there's a bit of fuel in there. Okay, let's take that out another day. Later. Right then. Now I got access to the carburetor. Just how am I going to get this carburetor out? Well, for starters, WD-40 some points, because that's not going to turn ever. I mean, I'm surprised that the carb still sort of functions. Just try and loosen some bits up. Right, we're going to have to try and get these free. Then undo this throttle cable here. So I can undo this, get that out. And then hopefully that frees the carb out. But there's a return cable here. So what's that? Is that the choke? I'll get this sucker out. Not be going. This cable should not be going this way, and it is in this hole. It should be, I don't know, a different position so that it doesn't. It should be folded in and tucked in, not just rammed through this hole. So it's. I'm gonna have to feed through this thing and that thing through the same. It's gonna be quite a tricky job. That. With a screwdriver, I rebent this out and managed to get it out the way. Okay, so now I need to undo the choke. Choke off, carb out. It's not a C90, it's slightly more complicated to get the carb out, but we're getting there. So I think I'm going to have to undo these two bolts and just get this. Oh, the sun's gone in, thank goodness for that. I was getting a bit too hot, that was. There's two different size bolts here, again, indicating this bike's been taken apart before. I don't like it when it's like that, but it's less and less that you're going to find something like this when you get such an old bike. That's interesting. I wonder if there's actually an air filter in there. Let's find out. Wow. That's an awesome old school air filter. Huh. Oil in the airbox. See, I reckon that this carb could do with a bit of a spray. Get rid of these unruly wing mirrors. Horrible. There we go. Yep, they're the genuine ones as well. That's a shame, made in Japan. Oh, disgusting.